I unleashed nuclear-level spoilers on a toxic fantasy reader, and I do it again. So this happened last week on one of the big fantasy book subreddits, and I'm still processing whether I'm a complete monster or a justified vigilante. You be the judge. The setup: a simple character name. I'm a massive fan of this legendary 14-book fantasy epic. Think Wheel of Time meets Game of Thrones, but somehow even more complex. We're talking about a series with literally over 2,000 named characters, spanning multiple continents, timelines, and magical systems. I read the entire thing twice, participated in theory discussions, and basically live and breathe this fictional world. Last Tuesday, I made what I thought was an innocent post discussing magical systems in fantasy literature. I mentioned how this particular series handles elemental magic through various practitioners, and I casually name-dropped Kaitha the Stormweaver as an example of interesting wind magic users. That's it. Just a name and their magical specialty. Something you learn within the first paragraph of meeting this character. Enter the spoiler police. Within an hour, my inbox lit up with a message from user Fantasy Purist 2024, name changed to protect the guilty. His message was intense. Thanks for spoiling the series for me, genius. Now I know there's going to be a character called Kaitha who uses wind magic. You just ruined my entire reading experience. Some of us actually care about going in blind. I stared at my screen, genuinely confused. This is like saying someone spoiled Lord of the Rings because they mentioned Legolas the elf. So I responded politely, "Hey man, I didn't spoil anything significant. Character names aren't really spoilers, especially when there are thousands of characters in this series. Kaitha appears pretty early, and knowing her name doesn't reveal any plot points. The point of no return." What happened next was like watching someone pour gasoline on a campfire. This guy absolutely lost his mind. He sent me a wall of text, calling me every name in the book: brain-dead moron, inconsiderate piece of garbage, too stupid to understand basic spoiler etiquette. He questioned my intelligence, my reading comprehension, and even suggested I probably speed-read through the books without understanding the deeper themes of the magic system. Something inside me snapped. The nuclear option. Here's where I might have become the villain in my own story. I realized from his aggressive ignorance about spoiler protocol that this guy was probably still in the early books, maybe book 3 or 4 out of 14. He was treating character names like state secrets, which told me he had no idea what actual spoilers looked like in this series. So I crafted the most comprehensive, devastating spoiler message in the history of fantasy literature. I slid into his DMs to avoid breaking the subreddit's spoiler rules and unleashed literary hell. I told him exactly how the main villain dies and which character delivers the killing blow. I revealed the shocking identity of the secret antagonist who's been manipulating events since book 2. I spoiled the major character death that happens in book 9, the one that makes grown adults throw books across rooms. I explained the entire final battle sequence, including which armies show up and how the magical resolution works. I even threw in some widely accepted fan theories about the post-series timeline and hidden meanings in the final chapter. But I didn't stop there. I was feeling petty and vindictive, so I also spoiled the romance subplot resolutions, all 4 of them, the true parentage reveals that don't happen until book 11, the religious revelation that recontextualizes the entire magical system, the political twist that changes everything about the kingdom's history, even the fate of that minor character whose death in book 6 seems insignificant but actually sets up the entire final trilogy. I wrote it all in chronological order, like the world's most malicious book report. Then I hit send. The aftermath. His response came within minutes. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Followed immediately by, "You just ruined months of reading for me. I've been working through this series for over a year." And then, the kicker. "This is why I never participate in online communities. People like you are toxic and cruel." I felt a moment of pause. Had I gone too far? Then I remembered him calling me a brain-dead moron for mentioning a character name, and that pause evaporated. I responded, "You called me stupid and questioned my intelligence because I mentioned a character name, something that reveals literally 0 plot information. You wanted to see what real spoilers look like. Now you know. Maybe next time, don't attack people over nothing." He never responded. The moral reckoning. Here's where I'm genuinely conflicted. On one hand, what I did was absolutely nuclear. I destroyed this person's reading experience out of spite and anger. That's not something I'm proud of. On the other hand, he started this fight over literally nothing, a character name, in a series with thousands of characters. It would be like someone getting mad about mentioning that Harry Potter has a character named Hermione. His aggressive response was completely disproportionate to my offense. I keep thinking about how he immediately jumped to personal attacks and insults, rather than just asking me to be more careful about spoiler tags. The level of hostility was shocking, especially in a community that's supposed to be about sharing love for these books. But two wrongs don't make a right, do they? The community reaction. I haven't told anyone about this until now, but I keep seeing him pop up in other fantasy Reddits, and he's consistently hostile and condescending to other users. Last week, I saw him tear into some newcomer for asking a stupid question about magic systems. It makes me wonder if I did the community a favor by showing him what actual toxicity looks like, or if I just made him worse. Several of my friends who know the series have said they would have done the same thing. One even said I showed remarkable restraint by only spoiling one series, instead of going after his entire reading list. But my girlfriend thinks I'm a monster who needs anger management classes. The sleepless nights. I've been losing sleep over this. Not because I feel guilty, I really don't, but because I keep wondering what kind of person I've become. 6 months ago, would I have done something like this? Have online communities made me more callous and vindictive? The guy was absolutely wrong to attack me personally over nothing, but my response was disproportionate in the opposite direction. I used knowledge as a weapon. That feels wrong somehow. At the same time, I can't help but feel like he learned a valuable lesson about treating strangers with basic respect. Maybe next time someone makes an innocent comment that slightly annoys him, he'll remember the consequences of being needlessly aggressive. The verdict. So Reddit, what's your verdict? Am I a justified defender of common decency who taught a bully an important lesson? Or am I a petty sociopath who destroyed someone's innocent enjoyment out of spite? Because honestly, I'd probably do it again. Update. He found this post, apparently he stalks my profile now, and sent me another angry message. I haven't opened it yet. Part of me wants to spoil another series just on principle. Top comments. NTA. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mod a smaller fantasy sub, and we literally have people complaining about spoilers, like, there are dragons in this dragon book. Your guy crossed the line first with personal attacks. You just showed him what actual consequences look like. Though, I gotta ask, was this Malisen or Wheel of Time? The description sounds familiar, lol. Author. Can't say which series without potentially spoiling it for others, but let's just say it involves a lot of Tavaren and leave it at that. Comment. Dude, you're my hero. I had something similar happen in a gaming subreddit. Posted a screenshot of my character build, and some tryhard went off about how I spoiled the surprise weapon locations because you could see my inventory. Called me brain dead, said I was ruining the game for everyone. So I looked up his post history, found out he was streaming his playthrough, went into his chat during a boss fight, and typed out every major plot twist in the game. His reaction was chef's kiss. Complete meltdown on stream. Sometimes people need to learn that actions have consequences. Your only mistake was not recording his reaction for posterity. Comment. ESH, but I'm leaning toward you being justified. Look, I teach high school English, and I deal with spoiler drama constantly. Kids get upset about the weirdest things. I had a student cry because I mentioned Gatsby drives a yellow car before we read that chapter. But, and this is important, the way that guy responded to you was completely unacceptable. Personal attacks are never okay, especially over something so trivial. In my classroom, I have a zero-tolerance policy for that kind of behavior. You essentially gave him a very expensive lesson in treating people with respect. That said, next time, maybe try the kill them with kindness approach first. Sometimes the high road is more satisfying than nuclear revenge. Though, I'll admit, reading your post gave me some very unprofessional thoughts about a few rude parents. Comment. Mate, you went full scorched earth, and I'm here for it. I've been reading fantasy for 30+ years, and these spoiler police are getting out of hand. I once had someone report my comment for spoiling that Tolkien wrote the Silmarillion. Like, it's literally on the book cover, eh? The entitlement is unreal. This guy could have politely asked you to use spoiler tags, could have just moved on, could have done literally anything except attack you personally. Instead, he chose violence and got nuked from orbit. Natural consequences, as we say up here. Sorry, not sorry. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Now back to my reread of that 14-book series we're definitely not talking about. Wink. Comment. Chef's kiss. This is exactly the kind of proportional escalation I live for. Let me break down why this is perfect petty revenge. 1. He started with disproportionate aggression over nothing. 2. You gave him multiple chances to back down. 3. Your retaliation directly related to his complaint. Spoilers. 4. You didn't break any sub-rules by using DMs. 5. The punishment fits the crime. He wanted to see real spoilers, so you showed him. 10 out of 10. Execution. The only way this could be better is if you'd somehow spoiled it for him via interpretive dance. Also, I'm stealing literary hell for my vocabulary. That's poetry right there. Comment. Unpopular opinion, but YTA here. Yeah, the guy was rude and out of line, but you literally destroyed months of entertainment for someone. That's like actual harm over internet words. I get being angry, but this feels like bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. I've been spoiled on major series before, and it genuinely ruins the experience. Took me 3 years to finally read A Song in Ice and Fire after someone spoiled the Red Wedding for me out of spite. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but 2 wrongs don't make a right still means something to me. Comment. I respectfully disagree. OP didn't start this fight. They made an innocent comment and got verbally abused for it. When someone crosses the line into personal attacks and name-calling, they forfeit the right to expect civil treatment in return. The turn-the-other-cheek approach just enables toxic behavior in online communities. Sometimes people need real consequences to learn basic respect. Comment. Fair point. I guess I just feel bad for anyone losing the magic of discovering a good story, even if they're being a jerk about it. But you're probably right that some people only learn through consequences. Write what you think about this situation. Also, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell to receive notifications about the latest videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.